Let's face it, IPAs have become the absolute darling of the craft beer world. But are they really deserving of all the hype? Personally, I think IPAs suck, and today I'm going to be deep diving into some of the reasons why, from their overpowering flavors to the way they've absolutely taken over the beer industry. And in today's video, we are going to be breaking it all down. Let's go. The IPA, or otherwise known as the India Pale Ale, was born out of necessity in the 1700s. British brewers needed a beer that could survive the months-long trip to colonial India. What was their solution? Add more hops. Hops don't just contribute bitterness, they're also a natural preservative as well. The extra hops helped the beer stay fresh during the journey, and the result was the first IPA. Fast forward to the craft beer boom of the late 20th century, the IPAs were revived as a way for brewers to experiment and show off their skills. And at first it was fun. However, what started as an innovative style has quickly turned into an overhyped, oversaturated mess. Now let's talk about flavor. Hops are what define an IPA, but they're also its biggest flaw as well. They bring bitterness, resinous pine notes, and citrusy aromas. In small doses, this can be refreshing, but most IPAs take it way too far. Modern IPAs are obsessed with pushing the limits of bitterness. Ever heard of IBUs, or otherwise known as the International Bitterness Unit? Some IPAs boast 100 or even 120 IBUs. For context, a standard lager is around 10 to 20 IBUs. The higher the IBU count, the more bitter the beer. At a certain point, your taste buds cannot even register the difference. After a while, it just becomes a salt on your palate. And it's not just the bitterness. Some IPAs try to counteract the hops with fruity flavors like mango, passion fruit, or orange peels. But instead of balance, you get a beer that smells like a fruit salad but tastes like a mouthful of rind and soap. It's confusing, and frankly, it's not enjoyable for everybody. Frankly, the only good tasting IPA I've ever had in my entire life is the Orange Voodoo Ranger, and that's not even that great. Another problem with IPAs is what I like to call hops arm race. Craft breweries are constantly competing to make the hoppiest, most extreme IPA. We've got doubles, triples, hazy IPAs, milkshake IPAs, it's freaking endless. This trend has led to a lot of market oversaturation. Go to any grocery store or craft beer bar, and what do you see? IPAs taking up half the shelf space or dominating the tap list. If you're not an IPA fan, you're stuck with a limited selection of lagers or stouts. And to be quite honest with you, good luck finding a balanced beer. It's like the craft beer industry decided that hops are the only thing that matters, leaving variety in the dust. Let's be clear. Not everyone's palate is wired for IPAs. Bitter flavors are an acquired taste, and some people naturally find them unpleasant. There's also an issue with alcohol content. Many IPAs pack a higher ABV, sometimes 7 to 10% more. For the casual beer drinker, that can make IPAs heavy and overwhelming. And also, don't forget the texture. Hazy IPAs, for example, are often unfiltered and loaded with hops and yeast, giving them a thick, almost pulpy mouthfeel. It's like drinking orange juice, but worse. This really isn't refreshing, it's exhausting. But why are IPAs so dominant? Well, it has a lot to do with how easy they are to market. Hops are relatively cheap, and tweaking recipes is straightforward, so brewers can churn out endless variations and still call it an IPA. Beer competitions also favor bold, aggressive flavors, which means IPAs win a lot of awards. This reinforces their popularity, making breweries focus even more on IPAs to compete, and it's a very vicious cycle. But here's the issue. Craft beer is supposed to be about innovation and variety. Instead, the obsession with IPAs has made the industry feel one-dimensional. It's not fair to the other incredible beer styles out there. At the end of the day, IPAs are just one part of the craft beer story. If you love them, that's great. Drink what makes you happy. But for the rest of us, let's not let the industry forget that beer is supposed to be diverse, approachable, and fun. So for anybody watching this video, if any of your friends come up to you and say, "Hey, try this, and it's an IPA," what I want you to do is turn around, take it, and chuck it in the other direction. So here's to exploring everything the beer world has to offer, and I hope you all have a great day.